I, Dipendra, welcome you all on the behalf of IPM Verse powered by CHH Makers in the video where we'll be discussing the complete annual plan for IPMAT. So in this video, we'll be taking you through all the details you should have for IPMAT or while preparing for IPMAT, what all you should be aware of. That is the information I'll be trying to give you in this particular video. So let's get started and see what do we have in this particular session. So if I start putting things, first things first, what you all should focus upon is that what is this exam is all about. So let us understand the exam pattern first of all. So there are three different majorly sections: quantitative aptitude short answers, quantitative aptitude MCQ, and verbal ability. So far this has been prescribed or given by IPMAT. Now in essay section there are 15 questions which are to be done in 40 minutes. That's the most interesting part. Only 15 questions, 40 questions. I hope you are understanding this. Of course, each question carries 4 marks. So for 15 questions, you'll get 60 marks rewarded and there is no negative marking. So I hope you all are realizing that is the most interesting section for you because the number of questions are less, the time is high, equally divided basically, and there is no negative marking. So all what can go good or better or right for you is happening in this particular section. Despite that, the cutoff is lowest. Of course, you are getting the reason. The questions might be more challenging. The questions will be tougher. Now, let's have a look at the next section. That is quantitative aptitude MCQ. So there will be 30 questions. So questions are doubled in the same 40 minutes of amount of time. Of course, since there are 30 questions plus 4 for each right answer. So 30 into 4, that's 120 marks, and -1 for an incorrect one. The cutoff, the last year's cutoff, if I could describe, was 35 only. So a little higher than the previous section, but still very less. So I hope you are realizing the questions are very challenging. I hope you're imagining out of 60, only 24 was the cutoff. Out of 120, 35. I hope you are understanding the reason very clearly. Let's focus on the verbal ability section. So 45 questions, 40 minutes. Again, same section almost, but number of questions are increased and marks will also increase. So if you are assuming that there are 180 marks, the only challenge is that time is very less. Despite that, the cutoff goes around 113. So that is something which you all need to understand, that this is the area where you can score, where you can have, or through which you can have a better percentile or better margin. So I hope this creates the difference. So I hope you are able to strategize a lot by looking at this only. And that's why I have shown you the exam pattern, that this is how things will happen in the end. So we are beginning with the end in mind. If I could just show you the different type of things which are asked from different chapters or the subjects, then what all are they? From quantitative aptitude, if I could majorly try and make you understand what all is there, it has mathematics up to 10th standard and then some topics from 11th and 12th standard as well. So there are basically segregation of mathematics into two sections. One of them is basically the foundation of mathematics, which you say all the chapters which you have studied up to 10th standard, and then some chapters from the higher maths, which is 11th and 12th standards maths. For example, permutation and probability, for example logarithm, for example functions, differentiation, application of derivatives, matrices and determinants. These kind of chapters are also there, which are clearly from the 11th and 12th, which is higher maths. The topics from up to 10th standard mathematics are number system, divisibility, HCF, LCM, surds and indices, basic of trigo. Trigo is also asked in more details format. Coordinate geometry is asked from 11 and 12, but time, speed, distance, profit and loss, simple interest, all these basic standard chapters are there. But trust me, since they are easy, tougher problems are made from them. Since these are tougher, easier problem could be made from them. That all depends. Now, it all depends basically on your preparation, that how well prepared you are. So if you are very well prepared, questions may not look very challenging because you are well prepared, and of course it works like that. Now when you talk about verbal ability, yes, topics which are asked based on reading comprehensions, grammar, antonym, synonym, fill in the blanks, idioms, phrasal verbs, summary, para completion, parasummal, all these categories of questions are asked from verbal ability. Yes, LRDI is also asked in terms of QA only. So they treat it as a QA, but chapters, topics from LRDI are also asked. It can be like based on blood relations, direction science, arrangement based questions, groups based questions, conditionals or series completion, sequential input output, decision making, calendar. Yes, it all is there. So a lot of questions from DILR could be incorporated in QA section only. So that's how the whole syllabus is divided into. So I hope you have developed a complete clarity that how should you prepare for this examination. That's the strategy what I will come up with. I'll start with making you understand that build the base first of all. Two things. First segregation comes here. Either you are a maths background student or you are a non-maths student. What do I mean by maths background or non-maths? In 11th and 12th standard, if you have studied maths, you are a maths background student, and if you haven't, you are a non-maths background student. So first of all, if you are a non-maths background student, go through all the topics of 11th 12th standard which are asked in IPMAT from the section subject mathematics. So that is something which you need to work upon additionally. That is the problem, right? I hope it is not minded by you all. This is something which you have to do. You cannot skip that, you cannot leave that. You are bound to do that if you have targeted or thought of aspiring, cracking IPMAT. Now, mathematics is something, 10th standard mathematics, up to 10th standard mathematics, that is something you should start revising. So go through all the basics, go through all the chapters, go through all the concepts. A lot of nuances are there, go through them. So everything needs to be studied. Along with that, if you ask me some more keywords for VA, the only thing I'll say is start developing reading habits. That's the biggest aid you can have for VA, for IPMAT, as far as you seriously want to prepare it. So start developing reading habits. Read newspaper, read magazines, read books, read journals, read a lot of things, a lot of stuff. So read a lot, read. That's the only key to get better, to excel in verbal ability section, if you really want to get good at that. And of course, revision of maths is needed, not up to 10th standard. I'll add, of course, chapters from 11th and 12th standard as well, which are asked in this examination. So once you have started developing that foundation, now it all depends on the time you are left with. If you have a complete 1 year, you should immediately start with this building of the basics. So if you have completed the foundation, if you have gone through the foundation, we take you to the next stage. So we take you to the next stage where you start a structured preparation, that you divide QA into QA. There you study all the chapters in a more comprehensive manner, in a more detailed manner, in more, what should I say, the nuances are there, the smaller details are there, you understand them in that particular fashion. Along with that, VA in a more structured manner comes into picture, DILR comes into picture, a lot of problems are there, depends on the level of difficulty. If you are good at them, you move to the next level of difficulty. If you get better at them, you move to the next level of difficulty. So that's how you get better in them, and then you reach where you're supposed to be in terms of difficulty level, that from this chapter this is the level of difficulty which is asked. So you go up to that level, you unlock your potential basically. Now when you have practiced a lot of questions from QA, VA, DILR, that means you have covered or made yourself like that. Yes, now you know the basics, now you know the concepts, now you can solve the questions, you can attempt the questions, and yes, you have attained a certain level of expertise in all the domains, in all the chapters. Then we say that now foundation is built, you have started structured preparation. Now it's time that you consolidate. Now consolidation means what? First you expand it, now you will narrow down. Narrow down means you divided your whole syllabus into very smaller chunks. For example, you studied working time, you studied speed distance time. Now you group it. Now you group it into sectional or area. First of all, let's say arithmetic, algebra, or grammar, or English uses basically grammar, you say it, or reading comprehension. That's how you club it, and then you attempt a lot of area test. Once you have attempted a lot of area test, then consolidate it more with more sectional test. I mean, entire quantitative aptitude you attempt through a QA sectional test. So that's how you enter into the consolidation phase. And then once you have gained confidence while attempting a lot of area test and sectional test, I would advise that you intensify your preparation by writing as many mocks as possible. I would say 1 mock each day. Attempt 1 mock, write it thoroughly, take it sincerely, and then analyze it properly. So I hope you have understood. If I could divide your preparation, 1 year preparation, into smaller chunks, this is how I'll go with. See, you have basically, let's say this video gets released in January. So let's say let's say this is the moment when you have realized that yes, you want to target IPMAT, and you have almost 1 year's time. Why am I saying 1? Because exams will be there in between, 12th standards exam will be there, so a lot of time will be wasted there. So let's say a 12 months preparation is what we are talking about. So initial, let's say few months you devote in building the base. So let's say, I mean, trust me, not more than 1 month should be invested here. Even 1 month is very much time I have suggested you here. So even 1 month is also sufficient. Less than 1 month, if you should try and target achieving it in time which is less than 1 month. So I'm suggesting that yes, 1 month is what you should go for, but it should be attained within 1 month. That's my point. I hope you're getting it now. Once you have started developing that base, once you've revised all the core concepts, when you're about to start the structured prep, yes, that will take time. So it should take at least 3 to 4 months. Now that's the most crucial part, because this is where you're starting it in a more structured manner. Then comes the consolidation phase, and for consolidation I will emphasize that you should ideally, this is the basically most crucial part. So once you build the foundation, once you build the basics, you should spend another 3 to 4 months time in consolidating all the concepts. And this phase basically comes during the boards and after the boards, because right before this you actually get diverted or distracted towards the boards, which is of course equally important. And once you have done with the boards, then you start with this part, where you intensify your preparation with more mocks technically, and once you are done with the boards, you actually can devote a lot of time, more time, because there is nothing to study except for IPM. So yes, there you dedicate your complete hours, the whole time, the whole efforts for your preparation. So this is the remaining duration. So if it took almost, let's say 6 to 7 months, this took, let's say 8 months. So the remaining 2 to 3 months, I mean, I'm skipping that part where you're preparing for the boards, you're taking leaves, so a lot of time is invested there as well, which we are skipping. So another 2 to 3 months of intensified, dedicated preparation should go here. So that's the idea which I want you all to develop. Specifically, if I talk about for QA and DLR, previous year's questions you can begin with. Then of course we have our own curated CHM material. For QA and DLR, we have created another video. You can see that video where we have dedicatedly discussed a year-long preparation for QA and DLR. So you can see that video. But here, if I could cover that in brief, we have designed our material in such a structured manner that it takes you through this entire journey in a more structured way and in a comprehensive manner. Whatever I'm discussing here, the foundation, the basics, the consolidation, the intensification, the area test, sectional test, mocks, and a lot more than that is all there in our material. So you can go through that and prepare with that in a more structured and organized manner. So yes, something which is very crucial is a structured preparation. For VA, I'll say read. That's the important thing. That's the most crucial thing. Of course, along with CHH material, for grammar you can refer to Wren and Martin. If you know the basics, if you want to understand the basics, that is there. For reading newspapers like The Hindu, The Indian Express, or for more online resources, you can use these kind of websites. So yes, a lot of things are there. You need to just visit them, refer them, study them. That is what we need to have. Let's talk about something very crucial. Have a schedule. Now, since it is a year-long journey, have a schedule, or rather I'll say have a daily schedule. Have it very clear in your mind that what you want to study, what you want to get covered overnight. I mean, the day you, let's say if I wish to plan something, then it should be planned. For example, let's say if I want to prepare something for tomorrow, let's say if I want to work out something for tomorrow, that this is what all needs to be studied, that this should be prepared a day before. At night, visualize what all is needed to be done and work on that. And of course, once the day gets over, analyze what all you targeted and what all you have accomplished. So that daily targeting mechanism should be there. And then of course there should be weekly targets. So there should be a week. It should be divided into days, and that those week comes from monthly targets. And monthly, we have already segregated from quarters. For example, if you have divided our preparation into this kind of chunks, that you start with building the base. So these are the quarters. You divide them into months, and then you move into the daily and weekly targets. So that is how you begin with. Now, the most crucial thing which I will recommend you all is attempt as many mocks, as many tests possible for you. That is the only thing which is going to create the complete difference in your preparation. So if you want to get better at IPMAT, if you want to have a better percentile, if you want to have a better score, this is something which is ideally advised, that you start writing, taking mocks. Even a daily mock is what is advised. No matter how good you are at, no matter what kind of score you are getting, start taking them. You will actually learn a lot about yourself, your performance, your areas, the areas we need to work upon, the areas where you're already going great. So a lot of things can be worked out if you are attempting mocks regularly. And yes, that's another part, that in 12th standard you will have your board exams, you will be devoted to a lot of other activities, portfolio needs to be built, so a lot of things are there along with your IPMAT preparation. So you need to strike that right balance with your preparation, that what is all is needed to be done. With that, I think it is sufficient for the day. Let's meet in the next video. Thank you so much, students.